What up, ladies and gentlemen? How are we doing today? Today I wanted to talk a little bit about Doomfist. Obviously, you guys have been seeing me playing him for the past 3 days or 2 days in the PTR, and obviously I find him very interesting. I think he is very, very strong. I think his mechanics require a lot of skill, and I also think his mobility makes him a very interesting character. So today I wanted to talk about, just in general, what do I feel about Doomfist. I'm going to share the basic abilities. I want also to show you a little bit of the combo that I'm using, because I know a lot of people are kind of giving me ideas about other combos, but I feel like this one has the most impact in fights. We're also going to go through a little bit how some of his combos definitely have more impact in fights than others. Engagement, we're going to also be going through a little bit of engagements and disengagements, of course. We're going to go through the potential counters to him, well, Doomfist in general, also where he kind of belongs in ranked. And after that, I will also show you my crosshair settings, because there's a ton of people wondering, what are my crosshair settings? They love it so much, so I'm going to go ahead and show you that. And obviously, to finish it off, we're doing a video settings and then talking a little bit about Doomfist in general. So, Doomfist, what a fun character. Truly a melee character. Left click does a lot of damage. He has this charge that reaches very, very far. It stretches very far. On top of this, he also has a knockup rising uppercut. Actually, it's probably easier if you do this. So, on his left trigger, he obviously has the short range with spread, reloads automatically. So you never need to reload this, but that goes without saying that he does a tremendous amount of damage with this. He almost one-shots 150 HP bots. I think they're 150. It could be 200. Either way, it does a tremendous amount of damage, and what is very cool about his ability is that it has zero fall-off. You'll be doing the same amount of damage no matter where you're hitting from, which is pretty neat. The only problem with it, it's got a ton of spread, right? So if you don't hit your bullets, then yeah, obviously you're not going to be doing a lot of damage to them. If you take a look at the damage, let's see here, this is 20. So he misses about 3, could be 3 to 2 shots from here. Either way, it does a lot of damage, right? And the interesting thing about him is because it's such a good finisher tool. Because obviously Doomfist is all about getting up close to the enemy. If you don't happen to kill it, let's see if we can find a bot for it. There we go. Alright, so if you charge him, it doesn't die. The left click will definitely get the job done. And that's what I found so interesting about him. Obviously his meteor, pretty basic, but we're going to talk about that in a second. Seismic Stomp, leap forward and smash the ground. Well, pretty self-explanatory. You slow them when you hit them. You do about, I don't know how much damage that is, 40, 45 perhaps. And what's interesting about this, it leaps you forward. And it essentially does damage, slows the target, and makes sure that you will get in for the kill with left click if you have to. Essentially, let's say you miss the dash and you're like, shit. Alright, we missed that one too. Either way, let's just wait for the cooldown here. I'm sure. Here we go. Slows them. You have an easy kill because they're being slowed in the process. So a lot of low HP targets, even tanks, I may say, would be in danger of taking a lot of damage. Rising Uppercut, an interesting take on a melee character as well. He knocks a character up in the air. And does a little bit of damage. And essentially, I haven't been using this for the knock up purpose at all. I've been literally using this for the purpose of comboing mobility. So a lot of players tend to try and get into melee fights very close up and use this and then charge. While that's not a bad combo by itself, but if you're playing against people who know what to do against Doomfist, you will never get in for free. You will never be able to get in and essentially do this combo. It's just not going to happen, right? So what I do with the shift, we'll talk about that in a moment, but I do something completely different with the shift. I actually don't really use it in terms of, well, I don't really use it as a CC mobility. I use it more as for just mobility in general. Movement, versatility, getting around the map is where I want. I prioritize that. If I can't get the damage in when the target is close to me, of course, I will use it. Rocket Punch, self-explanatory. Hold charge, then release the launch forward and knock an enemy back. Damage increases if the enemy hits a wall. Alright, well, it's pretty interesting. Hold in. The longer you charge, the more damage you do. Bam. Got a pretty decent knockback. That was a full charge one, right? And it will not kill a 150 or 200 HP target if you don't hit a wall, right? Let's see if we can find one. This guy right here. A prime example of me using the Doomfist is like this. He didn't hit a wall, he didn't die, right? It doesn't do a lot of damage if you don't hit a wall. What happens if you do hit a wall though? Well, that's a different story. He gets one shot. I'm not sure about the exact numbers about his right click just yet, but it tends to one shot, I think at least 200 HP heroes, could be stretched to 250 as well, which is kind of insane. When you learn how to handle the right click, that's where you start to being really dominant with this character. Knowing when to go in and knowing when to go out is everything this character is about. Hitting those right click against walls is super important for the extra damage. And something I didn't really talk about just yet. So if you look down in the bottom left corner of his HP bar, he gets shields when he does his abilities. Not when he does his right click. Okay, he does actually. Okay, so he gets shield when he does any of his abilities. Take a look in the bottom left. You charge something, bam, you get extra shield. This is his only way of surviving in terms of healing. He doesn't heal himself, but he gets shields for everything that he hits. And obviously, the more targets you hit, the more shields you get back. I think it's kind of like self-explanatory, because if you hit anything, you will. Take a look at the health bar here. You get 30 for just hitting with the shockwave. That's quite a lot. Imagine if you hit 2, that's 60. The Doomfist by itself, okay, I'm terrible. The Doomfist by itself will give you 30 shield as well. And obviously, the Rising Uppercut does the same thing. You're starting to get the hang of it. He gets shields for every bit of damage he does with his abilities. Ultimate. Press Q to leap up into the air, move the target in a circle, then press left click to strike the targeted area. This ultimate is pretty interesting. It has some really good potential. Some people say it's really bad, some people say it's really good. I think it's a mix of both. It's hard to play against players who know it's on its way. You get a pretty significant amount of time and an indicator that the ultimate is coming down. So if we press Q, bam. The inner circle will, for the most part, almost guarantee one shot. We're talking not Roadhog, not Rhine, probably not Zarya either, and when I think of it, not D.Va, but any other tank, like any other hero except for a tank, you will one shot in the middle. And you will do a tremendous amount of damage in the outer circle as well. I've used that ultimate more as a mobility tool as well, because I think there's two ways you can use the ultimate. One of them being engage tool, try and get a kill, and if you don't, you still have your combo to get out. And I will show you in a minute what I mean by mobility combo. But it's a really good engage tool, and if you can get a pick that's sublime for your team. That's really, really good. I'm gonna show you a little bit what I mean here. Just gonna get my ultimate back up. All right, we have it back up. So I would never use this as a tool, like in terms of, well, sometimes actually I'm not gonna say never, but I use this tool mainly for disengaging and engaging. That's what I do with them. If you don't have the ultimate when you engage, good, use it for disengage. So essentially, if we're in a team fight, and I would always see if enemies are in tight corridors, tight rooms, in closed off areas where they don't really have a lot of leverage or movement, I would almost instantly pop my ultimate as fast as I could, and then I would wait a little bit so people don't really know where it's coming from, and then bam, try to hit a target in close corridors. It's also very important to notice that this ultimate is very affected by your enemy's mobility and cooldowns. For example, if you know a Genji has a dash, you might not want to go for the Genji. If you know that Doomfist has mobility, you know, his combo to get away, then he's probably not the target either. Instead, you would be wanted to be looking at, you know, Lucio, Anna, probably even McCree. The role takes you just that far, but you'll still do a lot of damage to him. Other heroes that are pretty easy to kill, I mean, Symmetra, self-explanatory. Zarya doesn't really have a giveaway. Make sure she does not have the bubbles, otherwise you'll be giving her 40 chars instantly, and that'll be a bad day for you. Combos. Combos, combos, combos. This guy is all about combos. Honestly, in my opinion, he is combo orientated to the maximum. And What really surprised me when I got my hands on this hero and played him for the first time is the fact that he has so much mobility. Now, what I will show you is obviously something, like, it could change, right? Anything that this hero currently has right now is literally up for change. Blizzard has already said that there's a few nerfs coming along. One interesting one is his length of his right click. So, as far as I'm concerned, they want to change it from 30 to 20, I'm pretty sure. This should be 10, let's see here. This even, I don't think it even reaches. This is 30, 20, that's 10, and that is 0. So we can check it right now. How long does he get with this? About 24, 25, 20, 30. So if I'm saying this correctly, and this is something that was told to me, his range on the fist will be nerfed a little bit. I'm not sure how much just yet, because I don't have the patch notes in front of me, but the range of the charge will be nerfed. That's a guarantee. That's what they said already. Excuse me. Another thing that I find very interesting about this character is, like I said, his mobility. He has so many getaways. Like, if something fucks up, and I'm sorry for the French, if something goes wrong, you can literally engage with the fist, bam. Luckily for me, I got the kill, but let's say there's enemies all around him, right? And you're looking for that one-shot potential, and you know you can pin a McCree or a Reaper to a wall. Essentially what you're doing is, bam, crush him, get the hell out of there. And that's one of the combos I wanted to talk about briefly. He has insane mobility, and I've said this countless of times, and that's really the fun part of the character. And I hope that they don't take away a lot of it, but you want to use shift and then E. That's what you do. You go for the one-shot potential, bam, and you're out of there. And that's essentially his getaway ability. What is really interesting about this character as well is when you right-click someone, bam, you can hide, or even like, not potentially hide, but let's just say in a realistic scenario, let's do and find a bot here. Alright, here's a low McCree. We're going for it. We're not going to kill him. We're out of here. So, the range is typically the same range as you started from, right? So, when you're going in for the right click and help you get a kill, let's say you don't kill him, right? Go get away. And by the time that you make that combo, you have another fist to get away even further. And that's usually the way I use the knock-up ability. He has some really interesting mechanics with it as well. He can get up to very tricky places that he probably shouldn't be able to. One of them being, instead of using the rising uppercut as a knock-up tool in terms of CC, why not use it instead of mobility and a way for you to escape? I'll show you an example. That's pretty insane. I think that mobility is pretty fucking nuts. I have to admit that from the start. I think it's extremely good. Everything about it is just so much fun to play. Like, I'm sensing a little bit of a nerf to it. I'm thinking that the rising uppercut will probably be removed in terms of you going up into the air. I think he will still be on the ground, but he will knock someone up in the air. That's my take on it. That's what I think they're gonna do. Because right now it's too strong. I don't think the intentional use of it was to use that as mobility the way we can today. However, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing it, because it's probably the best mobility tool in the game. He can climb anything. Anything in the game you can think of, he can climb it. That being said though, the two combos is essentially you right click someone, bam, he doesn't die, get the hell out of there. That's my way of doing it. But that doesn't go without saying that if you know a target is low HP, let's say you're not really, oh god, that was anticlimactic. Let's say this guy's a little bit low, we're just gonna do this. Okay, he didn't die. Knock up. Bam. It still does a lot of damage. So, this is essentially for when you want to go for that one TK being like one wrong kill. You want to kill the target immediately, and then you just get the hell out of there. And if you have any high ground next to you when you're going for these kills, even better. You don't want to go for kills when it's plain, like there's just plain ground level where there's nowhere to escape. If you have a high ground alternative, this is what you always should go for. Kill this target. Okay, I didn't kill him, but you can always escape. High ground is extremely important when you're engaging with Doomfist. You don't want to engage in ground-based scenarios where you have nowhere to escape. If you're on the ground, you're a huge priority. You do a lot of damage, you have one-shot potential, your ultimate is pretty good, and you're hard to catch. Even with a healer, you're going to be close to unstoppable if you have a pocket healer. It's just because of the sheer damage that he brings out, and the fact that he also gets a lot of shields when he does his damage. I'll show you this one more time just for show. One shot. Escape. So what's a little bit tricky about his E ability, which is essentially the Seismic Slam, is that it's very tricky to find the high ground projectile with it. So when you're up in the air, you get this in front of you. You guys saw that? It's like a cone ahead of you, and that is your Seismic Slam area of radius. That's where you will land, and that's where you will do the damage, and that's essentially what you need to know. But what it doesn't show you, if you look upwards, you don't see the cone. The cone is already on the ground, but you can't see it. So you can get up to very tricky. You saw a little bit of a glimpse of it there. But even though the cone doesn't show, that doesn't mean you can't reach that type of height or that, well, that platform or whatever you want to call it. I mean, the climbing on this guy is essentially endless. There are some really insane escapes you can do with this guy. And I'm all down for you finding whatever you want to do. I'm literally just here to tell you the basics. I used Shift and E as a mobility tool to get up the high ground escape after doing my one combo. Also, I see a lot of people in the PTR. No, I know the hero is basically brand new, but something that you can really do is you can mask yourself. You can see a target down there. You can do whatever. Oh, let's say there's a McCree or something shooting from under there, whatever. You see him, right? A lot of people would start aiming towards him and holding right click RD, so it becomes very obvious what you're going for. Instead, what I want you to do is start masking your charge. There's many ways to mask your charge. One of them being you know he's there. And high ground is a perfect example, right? If you know he's over there, he can't see you here, but you know he's there because you saw him. Why don't you just charge it from up here, and when you land, you hit him. That's like a tip that is always like overlooked in a way. It makes perfect sense why you would do it that way, but a lot of players don't. And I want you guys to start masking your charge, like hiding it. Another super simple thing that I see people never do on the PTR, which I think everyone should do, if there's a big fight happening, these are targets, right? Let's say this is a Roadhog who doesn't have hook. You're looking at him, but you know behind you there's an Ana healing him. So you could be super obvious about it and do this. But once you let that charge go, it's all about prediction and luck. Instead of prediction and luck, make sure you get the kill. Mask your charge. Masking your charge is essentially you're hiding what you're doing. You know the charge? And essentially what you're doing is you're hiding it. And I'm going to show you again just for show. Mask your charge. You know it's overdone. A lot of people are not going to be brother for that. That's just the nature of the game. It's an FPS. It's fast. So that's going to be my #1 lesson for you. Hide your charge, please.
Stay down.
Don't make it obvious. Don't look him straight into the eye and go, what up, training bot? I'm just going to charge you right here. Bam. The better players you go up against, the more effective and more prone they will be able to dodge your fist. So that way you have to get a little bit more tricky with your fist as well. Let's say we look at Roadhog. I'm going to get you. Nope. That's it. Don't look an enemy in the eye. If it's too hard for you, start practicing hitting the charges first and then get comfortable doing whatever you're doing, right? It's just the way. I missed him because I'm terrible. Anyhow, the Seismic Slam combo also works for damage. It does a lot of damage. Okay? A lot of damage. So I want you to use that too as damage and engage. If you don't think you need to escape, if you have a healer, if you feel safe, you can always use that combo for the extra damage. One of the combos that I talked about briefly in this video is obviously his mobility. The ability to get up to high ground whenever he wants to. This is super important. It's Shift and E. You shift first to get up into the air, and then you press E to Seismic Slam yourself to the position. Right? And it's simple as that. Another combo that is super, super strong, that I don't see a lot of players do, is, let's say you go for this target. Let's say you're going for a neutral target. You're going for this bot right here. Oh no, he didn't die. It's a great finishing tool as well. When you knock someone back, they will be knocked back quite a bit, right? And when you're rising uppercut, it's like, I'm gonna kill this guy. I'll stand behind him actually to show you a little bit what I mean. He didn't die. That combo is so good. And another thing, so it's like not only for mobility, but also for a finishing off potential. Like, finishing potential is super important with Doomfist. You need those kills. Another thing is very interesting. Let's take a whole combo down. The whole fucking combo from the start. So, my combo that I usually do is I literally right-click a target. If I don't kill it, there's ways to go how to kill it. I right-click, knock a cup, bam, melee. So, the combo is very simple. It's you right-click a target, and this is mainly for tanks, right? Remember, this is for tanks, but it also works against other heroes. It's just, it'll probably overkill, but it's good to practice a habit. So, one of the things he's got going for him is you right-click, shift, E, melee. Shit, I got that wrong. Let me do it again. So, one of his absolute strongest combos, in my opinion, is the fact that he can get so much damage in from different types of damage. So, you want to right-click a tank, right-click, shift, seismic slam, left-click, melee. This right here. Very strong combo. Very strong. Let's say you're battling a tank. Roller is in front of you. How do you finish him off? Well, right. Stay down. Well, one of the things you can do is essentially charge. See that? So the combo is right click to the target, right click, shift, seismic slam on him, shoot, melee. And you can all do these in a sequence. It's not going to be a cooldown or animation cancel involved, anything. You can do this straight off the bat. I'll show you again. You should show. Right click, shift, seismic slam, shoot, melee. You can do this in a rapid succession too. I'll show you. Right click, rising uppercut, seismic slam, shoot, melee. A ton of damage. A ton of damage. And that goes without saying, if you charge up your right click to your maximum potential, you'll be killing a tank in no time. And that's it. Another thing I wanted to talk about that a lot of people don't seem to know, his seismic slam is very interesting. Very interesting. So a lot of people are like, oh, you knock yourself up into the air, like, is that it? Like, do you seismic slam on the ground and you just hope you hit them? Here's the really cool thing about Doomfist. Not only is he very strong, but he also can choose where he wants to hit the seismic slam. ID, what the hell do you mean? Well, I'll show you. Look at this. So I'm gonna seismic slam after a rising uppercut in front of me, but look where it lands. It is turn-based, right? You could essentially screw up your engage. You could right-click him, miss the rising uppercut, and he's in front of you. The only thing you need to do while you're descending with seismic slam is to show your cursor where the target is. It also makes for great predictions. I'll actually show you a very, very interesting thing here. Let's see. Can I get up here? I'll actually show you exactly what I mean by seismic slam. Here's targets. Okay, so let's say this target is behind, like it's in front of me obviously, but where I'm gonna land over there, and you guys might think that the cone is gonna be over that side, but I can choose where it's gonna land. Check this out. Did it hit him? No, it only hit him. So even if you overshoot your target with rising uppercut or whatever, let's see the bot here. Let's do this quick. I'll show you another example. Okay, here it is. You choose where you want to hit that. So even if someone's juking you, if you're fast enough on the mouse and if you have the reflexes to support it, you will hit them no matter what. High ground is also a very great tool for him, for many reasons. You know, you go ham. That's essentially it. Like, that's for the combos that he has. Also, you can zoom out on the ultimate, which is pretty neat. That didn't kill him, which I actually didn't think he would. So we talked about what I think about Doomfist, basic abilities. I also told you how to do the combos. Essentially, he has several different cool combos. Obviously, I would call this the Iddqd combo. Let's make that a thing. I just love that combo. I think it's so much fun. Like, it really, really is. And that doesn't go without saying. His left click does a lot of damage, by the way. A lot of damage. He has no fallout. Abuse that. Alright, Iddqd combo. Rising uppercut, seismic slam. We're gonna start off with, so this is the sequence. Right click. So you charge to the target, you hit the target, rising uppercut, seismic slam, you shoot, and then you melee. I'll show you. Uppercut, uppercut, bam, bam, bam. Let's do it again. It's because I love it so much. Let's do it. Iddqd combo. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's it. And by the time you've done that combo, you essentially have the fist again, which is what makes him so much fun. 2 seconds until you have the fist again. You'll survive that long, no problem.
Hello there.
One to engage and one not to disengage. When you have your mobility combo to get the hell away from a fight, it's essential that you try and go for the picks, but you don't want to die. So essentially what I'm meaning is this. If you can secure a kill and try it, that's fine, as long as you don't die. Getting a pick is super vital for your team and how to play the game, essentially. I mean, it's a team-based game. If you get a kill, you're going to be at an advantage already at that point. But, bam, escape. Pretty simple. Really, really simple. And that's literally it. You want to engage, not first. You don't want to be the prime engager. You don't want to be the one in the front line. You want to be the second guy coming in. Flanking is extremely strong with this hero as well. Don't get me wrong. But for the most part, I do not want you to engage first. I want you to be the second one to engage as most as you can. And if you see an opportunity, by all means, go for that first kill. But remember, don't do it unless you have your combo available to get the hell out of there. And that's about it. Who is... So Doomfist is pretty strong all around, I'll show you that. But who is his counters? In my honest opinion, there's... Let's see here, 1, 2, 3. I think it's 3 very strong counters against Doomfist. And there are obviously combo synergies against him, which makes him very weak. You probably know what I'm going to say. Sombra. Sombra makes this guy completely useless. I hack on this guy, and he's a walking piece of meat where he's just going to die. He's literally a free ult charge to whoever DPSs him down. Sombra is the ultimate counter to Doomfist. And that's like, you don't even need to argue that point. Second, Discord Orb against this guy. Oof, it's tough. It's very tough. Not only are you dependent on getting close to your targets, but it's very vital for you to survive. You only have your shields. If you don't have a pocket healer, the only thing you got going for you is your shields. Problem is, if you have a Discord on you, you will melt like there's no tomorrow. And who am I gonna say is the combo counter to him? Well, Sen and Tracer are gonna slaughter this guy for breakfast. So, there's one thing I forgot to mention in terms of counters. His right click actually stuns targets. He cancels Roadhog ultimate. He cancels Reinhardt charge. So, for example, if a Reinhardt is charging you and you see it, by all means, right click him. If you right click him first, if he's charging towards you and you know you have time to charge up your charge, you will hit him and stun him and do the damage to him. He will not do the damage to you as of today. And today is the... Let's see, it's 7th of the 9th month. Yeah, so 7/9. As of today, Sunday, that is still a thing. He still destroys Reinhardt. And he destroys Diva too. Oh, by the way, right click goes through Genji's dash.
No chance.
Fuck Genji mates.
That being said though, his right click is a very fun tool. I think you're gonna love this hero. That being said though, the counters to me, the very obvious counters, is any type of stun, any type of CC abilities. He's very weak against Discord Orb. He's very weak against a good Tracer. But the ultimate counter is for sure Sombra. Sombra turns this guy into a running ult charge for any one of your teammates. Beyond that, I think he does good at every single tank in the game. And the fact that he has so much one-shot potential and combo potential makes him a very strong contender to counter, you know, all the other heroes, essentially. I think he's in a good spot. But that doesn't go without saying, I still think this guy's going to get nerfed. I think he's going to get nerfed even more. And that is a little bit unfortunate, but I do feel like his mobility is a little bit tad too strong. Having all this package makes him... I would honestly say he's like a better Genji in my opinion. And I don't think that was the initial, thought behind Doomfist to begin with, but he feels like one. He can climb anything in this game. Nothing can stop this guy. He can climb everything. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what I think of him. He's like a better version of Genji, but that's my opinion though. Doesn't reflect anyone else's, but that's what I think. So the potential counters were obvious. Tracer, Sen, Sombra. That's what I feel. Sen being the Discord Orb, Tracer paired up with Sen and the Discord Orb is just gonna kill this guy for free. He has a very large hitbox, so remember that. His head hitbox is pretty large as well. I would say that McCree could be a hard counter against him because of the flashbang and the headshot damage that McCree brings out. The only problem with that is that flashbang is very unreliable right now and has a lot of bugs in terms of hitting targets. And I think when this guy charges you, the way you gotta time it is all about luck. So I'm gonna say that McCree is a mediocre counter to him, not a hard counter, if that makes sense. So, we talked about potential counters, we talked about his combos, what I feel about Doomfist, essentially we talked about how do I like Doomfist, do I like him, is he fun? Hell yes. The basic abilities, I ran them down with you guys. Second of all, how will his abilities impact and how will the combos impact the team fight? I run that through as well. Engagements and disengagements, talk to you about that as well. Where does he belong in ranked? And when should he be used? So, this guy is very strong against the whole cast. He actually is. There's, in terms of, there are hard counters to this character, yes. But he still does very good against every hero in the game, in my opinion. I think that's a testament to his balance. And that could also mean that he's a little bit too strong right now. And there are definitely things for him to change. I feel like his charge are going to get nerfed. I feel like this rising uppercut will definitely get nerfed. Don't know about Seismic Slam. Don't know about the ultimate. The ultimate is very easy to avoid, so I don't think they're gonna do anything with the ultimate. But where does he fit? So I feel like he's super strong against tanks. He eats Reinhardt for breakfast. He completely destroys Winston as well. He destroys Diva. He does a tremendous amount of damage towards Roadhog and is pretty good counter to Roadhog as well in terms of just pure damage and mobility. Right now, I actually don't see... I don't see picking Doomfist as a bad thing. That's honestly my opinion, though. I actually feel like he fits in the dive meta that is going on right now. I feel like this guy would belong in a tank meta. I feel like this guy would belong in a DPS meta. And the reason behind it, I can't really explain it thoroughly, but if it's a dive meta, he has the one-shot potential. That one pick of that right click is so strong, and with such a low cooldown on right click, it's 4 seconds. He literally has a one-shot potential in any dive hero in 4 seconds, all the time. Does he have a large hitbox? Yes. Is he easy to kill? Not really with the mobility that he has, but he does have a large hitbox, and that's a huge problem for him. But if he didn't, I think this character would actually be broken. And that's essentially what I feel about it. And that about sums it up for Doomfist, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my Doomfist tutorial a little bit. Talked about the combos, talked about anything, pretty basic stuff, but ventured into the unknown a little bit, showing you guys combos, showing the things that I found, the tech about him that I find so very interesting is that you can combo his stuff the way you want. I just happen to find something that I like a lot, and it seems to do a tremendous amount of damage. Now, go wild and find any combos with this guy. There's probably some unknowns out there. And honestly, I wish you guys would give this guy a try. He's definitely worth it. Do mind that there might be some nerfs coming to him soon, because I do feel he's very, very strong in the current state. But I still think Blizzard's going to do a tremendous job on him, and I hope he remains as fun to play then as he is now. So even with the nerfs, I still hope that he has an initial role, and if he keeps to be this fun, then might persuade my coach to let me be the new Doomfist main. I don't know. I like this guy. He's funny. So I know a lot of you people have requested my video settings and my crosshair settings currently on the PTR. And I know you guys are super interested in them. So I'm going to go ahead and show you both of them. This is essentially what I'm having right now. Reduced buffering can be on and off. I usually have it off because it gives me FPS issues. But if you like it on, keep it on. It reduces input lag, but it also sacrifices a lot of your FPS. Sometimes it is the perfect balance and nothing happens. So use it at any rate you will. I lock my frame rate at 180 because this is a question I get a lot. Why do I lock my frame rate at 180? Well, one of the reasons behind it is, one, I don't want my GPU to overheat. I don't want my GPU to overstress itself. If you have unlimited FPS, the graphic card will hit temperatures that you normally don't want it to. I'm not saying it's dangerous. I'm just saying that sometimes a graphics card will downclock itself to reduce the heat. And when that happens, you get frame problems. So I lock it at 180 for the sake of just having stable FPS and 0 to no input lag. Input lag is a no-go. I'm a hit scan main, so I don't want that. In terms of other settings, it's pretty basic. I've set everything to low, everything off if I can, 100% render scale always, and for local reflection off, ambient occlusion off as well. And people were also talking about if I had any colorblind options right now. I do not. Right now I have gamma correction set to default, contrast default, brightness a little bit further down. And in terms of crosshair, here you go, ladies. This is the most requested thing I've had. I know you like my crosshair, guys, and I will make it a command in my Twitch channel. I promise you I will. Essentially, take a screenshot of this. This is the best way to explain it. I just found the crosshair, and I find that it's really appropriate for any hero I play. So it works for me. It doesn't necessarily have to work for you, but if you want it, here it is. It's all yours. That being said though, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my YouTube tutorial with my video settings, my crosshair settings, and also talked about Doomfist a little bit. If you guys want to hit me up on Twitter, you can do so at Iddqd. Would love that you guys, hang around with my daily life. You can also hit me up on Twitch at twitch.tv/Iddqdow. I stream irregularly every week. Thanks so much for hanging out. I hope you guys have a kick-ass day. I will see you guys soon. Peace.